Imagine nearly 1 billion souls, all living within 150 square miles, half the area of New York City. Simultaneously, 700 years in the future and 500 years in the past. What kind of stories could you tell in a city like that? Welcome to NuTek Polis, the central location of the altered world narrative universe. A lone man hurtles along in the street on a sleek, low-slung motorcycle, trenchcoat flapping like demonic wings. Weaving through traffic, passing drivers with inches to spare at nearly 500 miles an hour. Neon lights streak across his featureless chrome face. Then he drives off the edge of the city into a mile-wide vertical flyway. Other vehicles veer away as he plummets, tracing a clean arc from the level he just left to another 5 miles below him. As his trajectory brings him closer to the far side of the flyway, he notes 2 thugs attacking a young dwerg woman. Mechanically, he grabs a pistol from his side and, without looking, fires once, twice, reholsters. 2 thugs fall. They weren't really his problem, but now they're no one's problem. Then the motorcycle's spherical wheels find pavement on the far side of the flyway. He's off again, racing into a city block seemingly on fire. The glowing image of a Greek tragedy mask on his back, leaving a tracer in his wake. Hi, my name is Travis, and I'm one of the creators and developers of Altered World, the new science fantasy TTRPG that finally lets you answer the question, what if downtown had a downtown? The Altered World setting was heavily influenced by cyberpunk literature and imagery. Hyperdense megacities are baked into its DNA, and NuTek is the king of them all. In Altered World, urban centers are encouraged to keep their footprint small by taxation based on the flat acreage they occupy. This creates an interesting conundrum for a growing city. As the population continues to grow, how do you provide living space for all those people if you can't expand outward? You don't just build up, you also build down. And then you take both directions to the extreme. The incredible population density of NuTek is made possible by a verticality unlike any urban center you've ever seen. Vertical shafts that descend miles into the earth and towering skyscrapers that reach higher than the mind wants to believe. City atop city atop city. Soaring above everything else, we find the megas. These immensely tall structures are made of exotic steel alloys and wrapped in industrial synthetic diamond to give them the strength to create buildings tall enough to make the Burj Khalifa look like a speed bump. Here, the ultra-wealthy literally rise above it all. A city in the sky, a playground for the rich. The elite can live their whole lives and never have to sully their feet by touching the ground. Many of these structures don't even have access from the street, requiring air transport just to gain entrance. No technology, no magic, no opportunity is off limits to these individuals simply because they have enough money that whatever they want, they can afford. What stories could you tell here? How would you use megas in your campaign? Would you want your PCs to be part of that elite, have connections there, or be part of the press of humanity that has to view the world from the ground? In the shadow of the megas, but still touched by the sun, there's the metro. This is the city, as you would think of it. There are parks, roads, businesses, and skyscrapers. It's expensive, it's cutthroat, and for millions upon millions of people, they love it too much to ever want to leave. Some of the taller scrapers have taken the same approach as the megas, lacking ground level entrances. Many of the buildings that are accessible from street level are also tightly access controlled. Other than the average upstanding citizens, there's also countless masses that live in the metro proper, known as gutturals. Officially, these folks are homeless. They're often non-citizens with no official protection. Many of them are non-human. These individuals eke out a meager subsistence through petty crime and barter, supplemented by the occasional wild-sider that enters the polis to trade, restock their supplies, and tell tall tales of the wonders and terrors that lie just outside the city. In the metro, all kinds of people can mingle. How would you bring your characters together in this environment? Now we turn our attention to deeper matters. So these things on the map aren't giant traffic circles. They're holes, entrances to the shafts, and they lead to the darker side of the city. Imagine New York City stacked on top of Tokyo, on top of Manila, and Mexico City, and Los Angeles. Now turn it to 11.
To 11. Look, right across the board.
NuTek citizens that live in the primary shaft have little need to visit the surface. Some never do. Underground levels utilize holographic projectors and even magic to create artificial skies almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Day and night cycles, even weather, all provide the psychological support needed to maintain a sense of humanity while living deep underground. The further down you go, the darker it gets. Go far enough down and you hit Tramblet, a place where the law itself stops. You want in? Cool. You pay your 50 bones and you take your chances. You can leave whenever you want, but whatever you were running from might be waiting for you, assuming it didn't follow you in. Somewhere even further down from that, they don't bother with artificial lighting. Humans are pretty scarce down here, but you'll find Temenvir, orcs, Dems, and dwergs aplenty. Some aliens too. This is where the heavy industrial sectors lie, in a place the locals simply call NuTek Hell. Steel that builds the megas up top is forged here, beaten into shape and hauled by the inhuman strength of Temenvir, who have been down in the dark so long that they've lost their horns and fangs and taken on new attributes more fitting for these urban environments. NuTek is the oldest modern city in the Altered World by about 100 years. Located on the southern shore of Lake Erie, it is the cultural and economic epicenter of the globe. Despite that, life in NuTek is hard for a lot of folks, especially the non-humans. There are those who would rise up and change that, even if speaking truth to power means speaking with violence. Chaos reigns in a shopping district, flames casting a lurid glow over the area. Signs read, "Humans only," in most of the stores. All is in motion, looting, fighting, screaming, except for one single island of stillness. A massive Temenvir, 12 feet tall with horns like a ram and tusks like an elephant, stands, holding an armored military vehicle over his head, effortlessly. Wind from the burning storefronts whips his flowing garments around him. He rules over pandemonium. Then the tone shifts in an instant, although the chaos remains. Anger becomes pure, abject fear. Rioters began to flee amid shouts of "Drama Boy!" The Temenvir's head whips around to see a single man arriving on a motorcycle, moving at incredible speed. A look of worry furrows his brow. Then he hurls the armored personnel carrier to land between the newcomer and himself, turns, and begins to run. If NuTek seems like the kind of setting you'd like to play in, we've posted a more detailed write-up of the Polis in our Discord. The link to join is in the description, where you can also find a link to download our free Quick Start, the Altered World Beer and Pretzels kit. Next week is Dungeon Jam, and we're part of it. Along with a whole bunch of your favorite dungeon tubers, we'll be releasing 2 videos featuring a free adventure based on the 5-room dungeon model. The first is a D&D adventure for 5 or 5.5e set in an Arctic environment. It's campaign setting agnostic, so you can use it in any game world you like. The title for this one is Breadcrumbs. The second is Dead Drop Blues, a noir-inspired, action-packed, altered world adventure featuring Linda, one of the archetype characters in the Beer and Pretzels kit. It's the next entry in our Learn to Play campaign, and we think you'll really like it. Thank you so much for watching. We'd love it if you'd consider liking and subscribing to our channel, and hit that notification bell to make sure you see all of our content. Until next time, keep your world altered.